So this is Marty Jr. here, and I'm the owner and designer of the fdtoef conversions and owner of the fdtoef.com website. And in this series of short clips, I'm going to show you on how to address common problems that you may encounter while doing the conversion. And so here we go. This one here is the problem is that the aperture control isn't working, doesn't move, it's kind of jammed. And sometimes that's caused by the inner aperture control ring being over rotated. And the way to resolve that is you move this lever here, and sometimes this thing can be black versus in this case on the 85 it's silver. And then you just move this back over to here. And so this cam lever is supposed to ride up this ramp, and as you can see, it's what moves the aperture blades inside. So it's a fairly easy fix. It does happen from time to time, but quickly resolved. Here we have a problem where the ring has popped up, the outside aperture control ring, and you can see this little silver arm here, and it will prevent you from moving this to the lower aperture settings. This is one of the reasons why I recommend setting the aperture at either 22, 16, or A, is to prevent this from happening. The way to resolve it is one, you can either push this button here, but you want to make sure that gets off that ledge, and then slide it down and rotate. Usually you don't need any assistance with something to push that lever down. And here's another problem. What happens when the button gets stuck, as you can see here, inside and won't pop out? And in that case, you just push this down. See if I make sure I keep this in the camera. And there you go. So that's another problem you can run into, but resolving this is usually quite simple. Put a little pressure down, push the button in to move the lever, push down towards the front of the lens, and then rotate, and that should resolve that issue. Sometimes when you accidentally remove this outer ring like this, the clicking, or sometimes people like to remove this to declick it, the little cylinder comes out, and the proper way to put this back in is that it needs to be oriented. It's not a ball bearing, it's actually a cylinder, and it needs to be put into this orientation here. Make sure it's sitting on top of that spring mechanism like so. You want to make sure it doesn't fall out when you put it back in. And so this little cam is going to sit right here. So you want to make sure you put this properly in. And again, you're going to have to deal with this lever. And there you go. Now, for those of you that want to declick your lens, it is quite simple. Remove this off, remove that cam. It's probably a good idea to remove that spring as well, but for this demonstration I'm just going to leave it in there. And the same procedure, push down towards the front of the lens slightly, push the button, rotate, and now you have a declicked FDN lens. Now, another problem you may encounter is that after you've completed the conversion, that the aperture ring just won't move. It's jammed. And so the first thing you should check, which is sometimes a common problem, remove the plate here. So you want to check to see if this actually popped up. That will actually cause it to bind. So you want to put that back in place, and that will resolve the majority of the cases. Sometimes, due to some tolerances, these internal aperture rings are designed with little spacer pads, and they're not that present on this one, but typically you can see a little bit of one here. There's usually one over here, it is here. And there's usually 3 or 4 around, and sometimes during the manufacturing process these get a little bit out of spec and they're a little too high. So if the first symptom or problem isn't caused by that latch or locking mechanism, you want to inspect this and just feel to see if they feel abnormally high at that location. And one way to resolve it is to take a nail file or some other file and just take them down a little bit. And usually when this happens, you can move the aperture ring. It just seems like it's a little bit stiff. This doesn't happen too often. I think it's only happened once or twice for a few customers, and that's been on the newer kits. As I refine the manufacturing process, sometimes a few get through, but you may want to check that as well. But no matter what, you can certainly email me if you're having problems or questions. I'm pretty good about responding and trying to help you get out of any situation that might run across when doing the conversion. Another problem you might encounter is after assembling your kit is you'll find that the focus is really stiff and hard to move. Or when you do it, you hear some rubbing or squeaking noise. Sometimes, again, due to the manufacturing process, these little tabs here are a little bit out of spec. And you'll notice this when you go to put it together, that it won't easily drop in like that. You actually will have to force it to go in here, and if that's the case, then that dimension is a little bit out, or there's a little bit of variability in the lenses themselves. If that does happen, again, the quick fix is to take a nail file or other fine file, not a coarse one, and just file down these surfaces right here until you can drop it in. Now this one here is a little bit loose, that's why it's sitting on my desk. It's not too bad, but there is a little bit of slop in it, and you really don't want it to get it down to that far. It's nothing bad. It's just that your aperture control when setting to a specific f-stop is not going to be exact, but for most folks that's not a big deal. But that's one cause for that problem there. So that concludes this video. I think that addresses most of the problems that you might encounter during the conversion process. In general, the videos are generally applicable to each series, so the FDN videos are applicable to the majority of the FD lenses, as well as the older FD series. The videos are generally applicable to that series as well. Sometimes there's unique situations with a few of the lenses. If you encounter something that you weren't able to address with the videos that are currently available, feel free to email me, and I will look at this situation and see if an additional video is required to address that specific lenses. I will say in general that the conversion is pretty straightforward. The longer focal lengths tend to get a little more complicated because of the length of the control arms, but the general overall process is the same between the lenses.